Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a huge question. Why do so many big, expensive AI projects fail to deliver on their promise? Here's a hint. It's almost never because the algorithm was wrong. It's because the focus was all on the tech and not nearly enough on the team.
Okay, let's start with a number that should really make you stop and think. According to the research firm Gartner, only 16% of chief information officers prioritize building up a tech-savvy workforce across their entire organization. Just 16%. I mean, that's a shockingly low number, especially when you find out that the CIOs who do focus on people report way, way better results.
So what gives?
Well, it really boils down to a fundamental misunderstanding. You see it all the time. Companies pour millions into the latest AI platforms, expecting some kind of magic to happen. But then the projects stall, they fizzle out, and they just don't deliver any real value. And the reason is, they've completely overlooked the single most critical component, the human framework that has to support it all. Okay, so let's get into it. Because the foundation of any successful AI project, long before you even think about writing a line of code, starts with a really simple question about your data. If you can't answer who owns it and who's responsible for it, you're basically building your AI powerhouse on a foundation of sand. Think of it like a professional kitchen. You could have the most amazing, fresh ingredients in the world, but if nobody knows who's supposed to be chopping the vegetables and who's searing the steak, you're going to get total chaos, right? It's the exact same thing with data. To make it trustworthy and actually usable for AI, you have to have a crystal clear system of governance where everyone knows their role. So here are the absolute essentials, the 4 roles you've got to have. Think of it as the chain of command for your data. First, you need a sponsor, usually someone in the C-suite, to give the whole thing authority. Then you have a leader to actually steer the program. Then you need data owners, people who are accountable for specific chunks of data, like all your customer data, for example. And finally, you have the data steward, the person on the ground doing the day-to-day management. And look, once you get that foundation set, you start to build on it. You bring in specialized roles. You've got your admins managing the tech itself. You've got custodians making sure it's all secure. You've got compliance officers keeping you out of legal hot water. And this last one is so important, an AI governance role to make sure your fancy new models are actually playing by the rules you've set. All right, so you've got your data house in order. Now what? How do you actually build something cool with it? Well, that's where your specialized AI product team, your A-team, comes into play. And let's be clear, this is not just a bunch of coders locked in a back room. A real AI product team is this amazing blend of different experts. You've got your tech wizards, sure, but you also have business strategists and industry veterans, all completely laser-focused on one single thing, solving a real problem for a real user with AI. Okay, this is a super important distinction that so many people get wrong. You can't just use these job titles interchangeably. Think of it like this. The data scientist is the explorer. They're the one digging into the data, running experiments, and figuring out what is even possible. The machine learning engineer, on the other hand, is the builder. They take that brilliant prototype and figure out how to turn it into a rock-solid, scalable solution that can handle millions of users in the real world. 2 different but equally vital jobs. And this right here, this is the kind of person you want on your team. We can call him Gian. He's not just sitting around waiting for instructions. He's got this deep curiosity, this drive to get his hands dirty with the data, and he's always looking for new ways to apply his skills to push the whole project forward. You absolutely need people with that innovative spark. And of course, the team doesn't stop there. You need an AI product manager. Think of them as the conductor of the orchestra, making sure the tech is actually solving a business need. You've got to have a data engineer, who's the unsung hero building the clean, reliable data pipelines, the lifeblood of any AI model. And you absolutely, positively need a domain expert, someone who knows your industry inside and out, so you can be sure the AI is solving a real problem, not just a cool-sounding one. But look, having all the right people is still only half the battle. How you organize them, the process they follow, that's what actually drives results. That's what turns a collection of smart individuals into a truly high-performing team. You know, these successful AI projects don't just happen by magic. They follow a well-defined life cycle. You kick things off by defining the goal, you plan out the work, you execute on that plan, and you're constantly monitoring your progress. And for AI, that monitoring step, it's absolutely critical. That's where you catch problems like model drift or bias before they get out of hand. It's a continuous cycle that keeps everyone aligned.
And as your team works through that cycle, you realize pretty quickly they need skills that are way, way beyond just coding. They need strategic thinking to see the big picture. They need systems thinking to understand how all the little pieces connect. And this one is huge. They need visualization and storytelling skills so they can take all those complex insights from the data and communicate them in a way that everyone else can actually understand and act on.
All right, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this might be the most important layer of all. Because if you get this wrong, everything else you've built is at risk. We're talking about the ethical conscience of your AI program.
You know, this quote right here, it pretty much says it all. You can build the most technologically incredible AI system in the world, but if you feed it biased data, all you've really done is create a faster, more efficient way to make unfair decisions. The responsibility here is immense. Let me give you a chilling, real-world example. A few years back, a major healthcare AI was found to be deeply biased against Black patients. Now, the AI wasn't designed to be racist, of course not, but it was trained on historical healthcare spending data. And because, historically, less money was spent on care for Black patients, the AI learned a terrible lesson. It mistakenly concluded they were healthier and needed less care. It amplified a historical injustice with potentially devastating consequences. And what makes this even trickier is something called the black box problem. With a lot of these advanced AI models, we can see the data that goes in, and we can see the decision that comes out, but we can't always understand the logic in between. I mean, think about it. How can you hold an AI system accountable for its decisions if you don't even know how it made them? It's a massive hurdle. But here's the good news. This isn't hopeless. We actually have the tools to fight this. We can build responsible AI. It means always keeping a human in the loop for critical decisions. It means obsessing over your data to make sure it's diverse and representative. It means using new techniques like explainable AI to try and peek inside that black box. And it all comes full circle, right back to where we started, having a strong data governance framework from day one. So at the end of the day, what's the big takeaway here? It's that building a powerful AI capability isn't really a technology project at all. The technology is just the tool. A truly successful AI strategy is and always will be a human strategy. It's built on the right people, following the right process, guided by the right principles. So that's the question I want to leave you with. It's the question every single leader should be asking themselves right now. Are you really building a team, or are you just buying technology? Because in the age of AI, the answer to that question will determine who thrives and who gets left behind.